If your company is anything like ours, you are navigating, well, the greatest influx of new technology we've seen in decades.
Oh, absolutely.
Every meeting starts with AI. Your inbox is just filled with AI software pitches, and you probably have, what, 3 new AI tools open in 3 different browser tabs right now?
It's unavoidable. We're all trying to figure out how to leverage this explosion of intelligence, but we've heard a specific dilemma, echoing from leaders.
Especially SMBs, right? Small to mid-sized businesses.
Exactly. And they're all asking, we're investing, we're paying for the licenses, and we're using the tools, but where is the promised game-changing productivity boost?
Exactly. We're chatting with these advanced systems constantly, yet the organizational friction it feels just as high. Why are we still spending nights catching up on admin tasks if the robots are supposed to be doing the work?
That friction, that chasm between AI hype and true measurable business efficiency is what our deep dive is all about today. Our mission is to cut through the noise, look at the hard data, and really define the critical difference between using a general conversational tool and implementing true integrated workflow-driven automation.
And we want to unpack why so many organizations are stuck in what our sources are calling pilot purgatory.
And that concept is so important. Pilot purgatory is that frustrating state where you've purchased licenses, you've run the tests.
You have a pilot project.
Right. But the tool never moves beyond that testing phase. It never becomes a permanent, integrated, and, scaled part of your daily operations. The result is just zero long-term ROI.
So we're going to find out where time is actually lost in operations and how specific types of automation can provide a genuine competitive edge.
And to frame this whole conversation, we should probably start with a statistic that is, well, it should really make you pause.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's from a recent 2024 study from the Upwork Research Institute. They found that 77% of employees report that the AI tools they are using have actually decreased their productivity.
Wait, decreased?
Decreased, not increased it.
77%.
Huh.
Almost 4 out of 5 times, the investment designed to speed us up is actively slowing us down.
That is the AI productivity paradox right there.
Okay, we have to unpack this immediately, because if we're spending money to move backward, we need to know why.
So the research dives deep into the reason behind that alarming 77% number.
Yeah.
And it comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of what modern AI is really best for. Most employees are simply chatting with bots.
Right. So describe the daily routine.
Think about it. You have your CRM open, maybe a spreadsheet, your email client. Then you open a 4th tab for conversational AI. You ask it to draft a summary.
Okay.
And then you have to manually copy that answer, switch back to the CRM, and paste it into the client notes field.
So the intelligence is fantastic, but the interaction model is just terrible.
Exactly.
You've replaced one task writing the summary with 3 or 4 new tasks.
Yeah.
Asking the question, switching tabs, copying, pasting, updating the system.
You nailed it. You've created this massive cognitive load of context switching and data management. It's the digital version of having an incredibly powerful calculator, but forcing your employee to physically run across the office to use it every single time.
The bottleneck isn't the calculation, it's the human running back and forth.
That's it. And here's where it gets really interesting. The key distinction the research makes is that real ROI. It does not come from having that chat window open.
That's just glorified research or content generation.
Exactly. The intelligence is sitting adjacent to your workflow instead of being embedded in it. Profitability only happens when the AI is wired into the API of your core business systems.
Let's pause on that. API. For our learner audience, what do we actually mean by that, and why is that wiring so critical?
So an API, an application programming interface, is basically a programmatic contract. It's the agreed-upon way that lets System X directly and instantly tell System Y to do something, all without a human click. So when you connect an AI directly into the API of your CRM, the AI shifts from being a helpful suggestion tool to a functional automation agent. It acts directly on the data. It removes that copy-paste step.
So if a new lead comes in, the AI doesn't just tell the human what to do.
It does the thing in the sales system. Precisely. It updates the record, triggers the follow-up email, logs the activity, automatically.
The immediate takeaway for SMB leaders then seems vital. The primary action isn't buying more tools.
No, it is connecting the tools you already have to automate specific processes. If your AI can't interact with your main database without a human in the loop, you are almost certainly stuck in that 77% productivity decrease bracket.
Okay, so now that we get the difference between chatting and true integration, let's focus on that massive internal time sink we all recognize.
The operational drag.
Yes, the operational drag. This is where most organizations are just hemorrhaging staff hours.
And this section of our sources, it dives into the data, proving exactly how much time is wasted on non-creative communication.
Yeah, I found the data from the Microsoft Work Trend Index to be just profound for any manager listening.
What does it say?
It found that the average employee spends a staggering 57% of their time just communicating.
57%.
That's meetings, email, chat. And only 43% of their time actually creating or, doing their main job.
Wow. So more than half the work week is just dedicated to talking about the work, not doing the work.
And it gets worse. If we isolate just email, McKinsey estimates that managing email alone takes up 28% of the work week.
Nearly a full working day every single week just on email.
We all know that frustration, right? Taking client details from an Outlook inquiry and manually punching them into a spreadsheet or the sales system.
And this is where the sources offer a really powerful reframe. Many leaders call this the admin problem, but that copy-paste headache, it's actually data routing problem.
That distinction is key.
It is. The information exists, it's correct, but it hasn't flowed automatically to the system that needs it.
We're not waiting for information to be generated. We're waiting for it to be moved.
Exactly. And the movement of data is a perfect, repeatable, high-volume task for an integrated automation agent. These agents can solve that operational drag by triaging all incoming communications.
Like emails, support tickets, web forms.
All of it. They extract the key fields, route that data to the right system, and update the records, 247.
So the human team only interacts when critical thought or, negotiation or creative problem solving is required.
Right. Automation transforms that labor-intensive communication overhead into an invisible automated process. This is how you get back that 57%. Instead of paying an employee to spend a quarter of their time reading and routing data, the AI does it instantly.
Think about that impact. You suddenly free up a huge chunk of your team's time to focus on strategic work, not just keeping the lights on.
That's where the ROI of integration really starts to deliver.
Recovering internal time is fantastic, but we have to shift focus now. Let's talk about where automation impacts the bottom line most dramatically. Revenue.
Revenue acceleration. Yeah. This isn't just about internal efficiency, it's about winning in the marketplace.
And the sources highlight that slowness is this critical, often hidden cost.
We obsess over pricing and marketing, but so often, the deal is lost not because of price, but because of delay.
The cost of slowness is immediate. Here's a finding from the Harvard Business Review. It's backed by inside sales data. It jumps out.
What is it?
Firms who contact a lead within 1 hour are 7 times more likely to qualify that lead for a sales opportunity.
7 times. That is a monumental competitive differentiator.
It's huge.
Especially for a small business fighting against larger competitors. But when you contrast that with the industry reality, the failure to integrate AI becomes even more shocking.
You have the average response time.
The average B2B response time is still a dismal 37 hours.
37 hours versus 1 hour. By the time the human sales rep even sees the lead, the prospect has already moved on.
Or worse, they've gone with the competition that responded instantly. The problem isn't the quality of your sales team, it's the lag in the process.
This is where integrated AI automation just shines.
It completely eliminates that time gap. The sources give a perfect example of a lead-to-appointment workflow that shows this full integration.
Let's walk through that scenario, because
Okay.
this is where you can see the immediate revenue impact. This is the automated agent in action.
Okay, so it's a sequence of 4 actions. They're executed in real time with 0 human intervention needed.
Step 1.
Step 1. A qualified lead comes in on your website form, maybe at 2 in the morning. Step 2. An AI agent instantly qualifies that lead based on your criteria, right industry, right company size, whatever.
Okay.
Step 3. The AI agent accesses the sales rep's calendar through the API, checking their real-time availability.
And step 4, the killer app.
And crucially, step 4. The AI agent immediately sends the qualified prospect a meeting invitation for the first open slot and books a Zoom appointment automatically.
The human sales rep wakes up hours later to a fully qualified prospect already booked on their calendar.
That workflow lets a business close deals while the competition sleeps because the competition is still waiting for someone to manually review a web form 37 hours later.
This speed doesn't just save time.
It directly drives revenue.
That speed advantage, it naturally leads us to the broader competitive strategy. For smaller teams, integrated automation isn't just about efficiency. It's about scale.
Right. Historically, big companies won because they had the headcount, right? They had dedicated departments for every single task.
HR, marketing, lead qualification, accounting.
All of it. Automation fundamentally levels that playing field.
We saw some powerful data from the Zapier State of Business Automation report. Get this. 88% of SMBs using automation say it allows them to compete effectively with larger enterprises.
And how?
By simulating a larger headcount.
That is the core strategic angle. Big companies have departments. SMBs now have AI handling the high-volume, repetitive grunt work.
The data routing, the qualification, the scheduling, the initial triage.
All that stuff is now handled instantly and tirelessly, which lets the small human team operate with enterprise-grade responsiveness.
And this strategic shift has huge implications for the professionals who service these SMBs. I'm talking about the managed service providers, the MSPs.
Oh, they are absolutely facing an urgent evolution in the market. Canalys predicts that MSPs who pivot to offering specialized AI and automation services will grow 15 to 20% faster.
Faster than those who just stick to traditional IT support.
That's right. The era of high-margin break-fix, fixing printers, managing passwords, it's rapidly becoming a commodity.
The prices are falling, margins are shrinking.
But business automation is a high-margin strategic consultancy service. And why? Because SMBs don't hire an MSP just to keep the computers running.
They hire them because they want to grow. They want revenue growth.
Exactly. If an MSP can help an SMB deploy that four-step lead-to-appointment workflow we just talked about, they're not an IT vendor anymore. They're a strategic growth partner.
And that kind of partnership is sticky, it's high value, and it completely insulates that MSP from the race to the bottom on traditional IT pricing.
It's a necessary shift for them and a huge opportunity for the SMB to get a proactive partner.
So before we get to our final thought, we have to address the lingering fears that keep so many businesses stuck in manual process.
The psychological barriers.
Right. We've seen the data on ROI, the competitive advantages, but a lot of leaders still hold on to these myths about accessibility.
It's a huge barrier. People still assume that this level of sophisticated, integrated automation requires, a massive data science team and a seven-figure IT budget.
Something only a Fortune 500 company could manage.
And the sources just definitively prove that is not the case anymore.
So our sources cover three major myths we need to challenge right now. First, the myth that it's too expensive.
The truth is, the monthly cost of an automation platform often costs less than 5 hours of a low-level employee's time, and it runs 247.
Second myth, it requires coding expertise.
Also false. With the explosive growth of no-code and low-code integration platforms, you're building workflows using visual drag-and-drop interfaces. You're not writing Python.
It empowers the operational staff to become the builders.
It does. And third, the biggest fear of all, the myth that it replaces humans.
And the truth.
The truth is it replaces drudgery. It replaces the repetitive, high-volume, low-value work that leads to human error and just makes employees miserable.
It doesn't replace the decision maker. It replaces the copy-paster.
Exactly. And if you still believe that automation is too technically sophisticated for your current staff, there is specific research that should completely change your mind about who benefits most from this.
And this is the crucial MIT Sloan research.
Yes. They didn't just study AI's effect on experts, they studied its impact across the entire skill spectrum. And they found that generative AI improves performance by 40%, specifically for low-skilled workers.
40%.
40%.
That definitively debunks the myth that AI is too technical or only for experts. The systems are often designed to be most helpful to the very teams who are drowning in admin overhead.
Practical, low-risk, integrated automations are accessible, they're affordable, and they're ready right now. You don't need a team of PhDs. You just need a willingness to stop copying and pasting data between systems.
That's the only real barrier left.
So what does this all mean for you, for the learner navigating this landscape?
Well, it means we have to shift the focus. We have to move from using AI as a standalone kind of novelty tool to integrating AI as a workflow agent.
That integration is the necessary step to move from that 77% productivity paradox to demonstrable gains.
To recovering that 57% of time lost to communication overhead.
And achieving that massive 7x sales qualification boost.
So if you manage a team or run a business, stop viewing AI as just a writing assistant or a research tool. Start viewing it as a tireless 247 data routing employee.
The technology is entirely accessible to small teams right now. That 5-person business can genuinely beat a 50-person corporation in speed and efficiency.
And this is a strategic advantage that won't last forever.
No, it won't. As automation becomes ubiquitous, it will stop being a differentiator, and it'll just become the cost of doing business. The time to implement is now.
So we'll leave you with this final provocative thought to consider, based on all the data we've reviewed.
Okay.
If your small team can use integrated automation to effectively look like a giant corporation, what specific repetitive process in your daily workflow, and not just a question you chat with, but a workflow that involves moving data between two separate systems? What process is currently costing you the most time and revenue and therefore demands automation first?
Identify that one process. That's the one you should be automating this week. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.